Rants, episode 107, right here on YouTube, right here on the Value of Wrestling. Big Tyme Rants on the Big Time. I'm here live with you on a Wednesday afternoon with some news, rumors, and speculations that are going down and going on. We're going to pick up some extra news here that we talked about the other day when it comes to one Odyssey Jones, Ricochet, and how Jim Cornette feels about the debut of Ricochet in AEW. That is definitely something we should touch base on and talk about right here. And also a big announcement from Saraya as she's announced her book set to debut or come out, her autobiography to come out next year, 2025. I believe it's somewhere around March. I've already pre-ordered it. You can go to her Twitter or Instagram, check it out if you want to get a copy of that book. It's coming out in 2025, I believe around March, but she's announced that her autobiography that starts from her childhood to right this minute, right now, is coming out. Can't wait to see what we're going to get there. Big lawsuit with AEW, and The Undertaker goes live on his Dead Man podcast to talk about who should be on the Rushmore of wrestling entrances. We're going to talk all about that right here on Big Tyme Rants, episode 107. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day. If you like this, make sure you give this video a thumbs up because it always helps us out and we appreciate it. Kevin Kelly and the Tate boys, the Tate brothers, Brandon and Brendan Tate, have filed lawsuits with Stephen P. News against AEW, claiming defamation and other accusations against AEW. Also filing suit that AEW is saying they are independent contractors and not employees of AEW. A lot in here. Of course, Kevin Kelly became under a lot of news under Revolution when he was fired or let go from the company. And then he went on a tenacious rant about the company and the way they operated. And now he's filing monetary suit against AEW, along with the Tate brothers, Brandon and Brendan Tate, known as the Boys. Yes, we're talking about the Boys. Of Ring of Honor. They were released from their contract due to budget cuts, supposedly, but afterwards, Tony Khan went live on a scrum or on a press conference and noted that they had not shown up for numerous events, that they failed to show up. The Tate brothers have come back and denied those claims and are filing suit for defamation basically on those things. So AEW in hot water as Kevin Kelly and the Tate brothers have filed suit in Pennsylvania court to get some actions overturned and to file this suit in a legal precedent. We'll have to see what happens with AEW and this lawsuit. Will AEW settle? Will this go to court? What'll happen? A lot to talk about as that progresses. We will let you know and we will update you on the information of that lawsuit. In other news, Odyssey Jones was removed from the WWE roster page. No news has been officially stated that he's been fired or released. It does seem like there's speculation that it may have been due to a domestic assault arrest. Somebody with the same name of Odyssey Jones's real life name was arrested in Arkansas for domestic violence, and somehow this had came together as Omari Palmer is the real name of Odyssey Jones, and somebody in Arkansas was arrested with that name. After reviewing information and gathering more information, it does seem that this is not Omari Palmer, known as Odyssey Jones in the WWE, but somebody was arrested in Arkansas for domestic violence under that name. But for now, we're going to have to see what the storyline's going on. Many reports are coming out that say Odyssey Jones was fired or released from WWE, and nothing has been hardcore, concrete, proven about those situations with WWE and Odyssey Jones. We are still waiting for more confirmation before we say he was released or fired. Right now, he has been removed from the active roster page, but at this time there is no news, there is no statement from WWE in regards to this issue, so it's a must wait and see where it all comes down to. The Undertaker took to his Dead Man podcast when he was asked by the host to name the Mount Rushmore of entrances, and some of those names I don't think will be shocking. One of those names being the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and how can you not love the Nature Boy Ric Flair's iconic entrance? The banging of the drums, the setup, the pyro, the wooing. Ric Flair always knew how to enter any building and make the pop last. Whether it was boos or cheers, Ric Flair definitely knew how to make a grand entrance anytime, any place, anywhere. He also named Stone Cold Steve Austin, and who can deny that? Who could even debate that? That iconic glass breaking and that music hitting, much similar to Kevin Owens' sound when it comes out. But Steve Austin with that iconic glass breaking and knowing that it was going to be a can of whoop ass taking place and all hell was going to break loose because Stone Cold Steve Austin was about to come marching down to the ring and it was going to go down. The wild rattlesnake was going to leave a path of destruction in his way, and you knew the minute that glass would break. Another name he said was his in storyline brother, Kane, the iconic Kane with the fire, the red lights, the slow music, the slow march to the ring. Kane was another name that he put on the Mount Rushmore of iconic music or iconic wrestling entrances. And finally, he gave big props to a former opponent of his, one that he had a great legacy and a great story with over the years, somebody that he has had many, many matches over the years, and that was one Triple H. Yes, Paul Levesque has had some iconic WrestleMania entrances, let alone some of the great entrances that he's had that weren't at WrestleMania, some of the great moments of his return. And accordingly, we have to talk about the great return of The Undertaker, who came out to that great return entrance only to be cut off by the return of Triple H in that same night, when an iconic moment that turned out to be. So Undertaker naming his top Mount Rushmore entrances. What do you think of those? Who were some of your favorite wrestling entrances? I know Shawn Michaels always be one for me because he's always known how to do it, and he made some iconic WrestleMania entrances himself. So, but I can't take away from Stone Cold. I can't take away from Ric Flair. You always have The Rock in some of his great entrances and what he's done, amongst many others. Eddie Guerrero has always had some great entrances. Sting, many other names that you could name. Jim Cornette not happy with AEW, and when is he ever? He seems to never really be happy with AEW. You can take him with a grain of salt, or you can dive into the deep dive of what is Jim Cornette and on his podcast. Sometimes you love him, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you like, sometimes you don't. I think you have to take the man for what he is and enjoy some of what he tells you, because there's sometimes he just knows how to hit that note right on the head. Sometimes Jim Cornette speaks a lot of truth, speaks a lot of reason. Sometimes you can say that maybe he's a little off the rails and it's an opinion. But Jim Cornette's not going to be shy about sharing his opinion. As much as we here at the Value Wrestling are never going to be shy about sharing our opinion. I'm a fan of Jim Cornette, and I like a lot of what he talks about. I don't always agree, and I don't think everything he says is perfectly right. But Jim Cornette is not happy with how AEW has debuted Ricochet, especially on Dynamite. They put him in a match against Kyle Fletcher, a babyface versus a heel, in a struggle match instead of a golden, shiny moment for Ricochet to shine bright and brightly shine. And that's what Ricochet should have done. Ricochet should have been shining brightly when he debuted on Dynamite in his first match. Should have had an easy win, doing a whole lot of his high spots in those moments that he wants to create. Why he's in AEW, a big reason why he jumped to WWE to AEW. You wonder why they put him in the first match with Kyle Fletcher. Is this leading to the road or the path that'll put Ricochet against Will Ospreay? We don't know, but they need to slow it down and let it slow burn. But Jim Cornette is kind of right. AEW has dropped the ball on their Ricochet debut. He debuted at All In Wembley Stadium at the Casino Gauntlet at the number 10 spot. I'm not a big fan that he came in at number 10. Wish it would have been in the beginning or at the very end, the very last name to come out. Could have been a big pop. They did not give him a big, significant entrance like they've done for many other stars. They didn't have a pre-presentation. He just came out and he was kind of there. He had some high spots in the match. But I don't think this is an incredible, amazing debut for somebody like a Ricochet, who made the big jump from WWE to AEW, who has stated on Twitter he's come here to show the world what he can do that he hasn't been able to do in a WWE ring. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see if this ball gets hotter, if this spotlight gets brighter on one Ricochet. Can a Ricochet achieve in AEW where he wasn't allowed to achieve or succeed in WWE? It's all going to be a wait and see, and it's all going to be a matter of time to see what happens. Finally, if you want to go to Instagram or Twitter, you can see Saraya on Instagram or Twitter as she's made a major announcement, a big announcement, a huge announcement. Her autobiography, which talks about her life from childhood to now. As she says, this very moment, this very second, we can learn about all 32 years of her life from the ring to the outside of the ring, from childhood to adulthood, all the good, the bad, and the ugly. She's not going to hide any details as she opens up her heart, as we open up her book and she spills out her story for us to read and take in. And I've pre-ordered my copy, and I can't wait for next year, as it will be out in 2025. I believe the date, technically right now, when I pre-ordered, said around March. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to get that book. I'm going to read it, and I'll probably do a review right here on the channel about Saraya's book, Hell in Boots, autobiography by Saraya. You can go pre-order it. Go check out her Instagram. Go check out her Twitter. There are links there to help you get there. Now, of course, a lot of people are probably going to give me some trash because I haven't always been the biggest supporter of Saraya and AEW, and I'm not a big fan of Saraya and AEW. I feel like they hinder her image. I don't know if she has any control over that. I don't know how a woman went from being crowned AEW Women's Champion last year at Wembley to not even being on the main card this year. She did help to make the return of Jamie Hayter. What is the future of Saraya? Will she stay in AEW? We haven't heard if she's re-signed her AEW contract. We hear that it's coming close to an end. Could she return to WWE as Paige and make a lasting impression there? A lot of questions to be asked. I have not been happy with Saraya's image or portrayal in AEW. I don't feel like she's gotten where she needs to be. And it's sad. I think she's a great talent. I think she has a lot to offer. We're just going to have to wait and see what the future holds for Saraya, but we can definitely learn about Saraya's life through her new book, Hell in Boots. Go check it out when it comes out. You can pre-order right now. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, any place that you can purchase books. I'm sure they have links in her Twitter and her Instagram account, so go check it out. Anyways, on the Big Time, this has been Big Tyme Rants, episode 107. Make sure you like this video. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family. We are a growing brand, and we are trying to grow big and bright and shine bright, as shiny as we can. I was going to get that tongue twister out one way or another. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, drop your comments, tell me what news you thought was great, what you want to know more about. Do you want to hear more about what's going on with Odyssey Jones? Do you want to hear more about Saraya and her book? Do you agree with Jim Cornette or disagree? Do you think Ricochet is going to shine bright in AEW, or do you think AEW has already dropped the ball on what could have been a great moment for Ricochet in AEW? What do you think of the Undertaker's Mount Rushmore of wrestling entrances? All that to talk about in the comments below. Let's get that discussion rolling. I will see you on the next one.
Wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.